All right. So today is about absolute mastership. So today we want to cover a topic about income, how to reach auto sales master, how to become masterships in different levels as well, right? And it's usually something that needs to start off from the basics, right? And this, because it's the beginning of the month and because we're starting this whole month with a fresh session. So we're gonna cover the basics again and talk about it from a different perspective as well. All right, so today is about absolute mastership. So yesterday we were talking about goals and dreams, and one of the challenges I asked you guys to do is to basically find an accountability partner if you haven't already, right? And also like maintain your life scenario as well. But one of the challenges I want you to do is basically to calculate your desired income on a monthly basis, right? So for those of you leaders, you probably have a life scenario already, right? So if you have a life scenario already, or if you have a bucket list already, then you can estimate roughly how much money you need every single month in order to live the lifestyle that you decided, right? So, and this is a totally personalized thing. For some people, it might be just, let's say, $300, $500, right? For some people, it might be $5,000, $10,000, right? So the range of money doesn't matter. It's personalized to you, right? It's your lifestyle that you desire, and you want to make sure that whatever that is, you want to find ways to support that desired lifestyle, right? And it starts with having the exact clarity how much we actually need every single month in order to live that life that we want to live, right? Now, for starters, of course, this is the life we want to live. And I'm not saying that you should make a plan, a grand plan where you eat luxury, go out in like big expensive hotels, right? Rent the Ferrari or Lamborghini next door, right? It is not about that, but it's about creating that image in your mind that this is the life that you want to live, right? And you know that, okay, I have this income right now, right? But this is the life I want to live. So all I need to do is figure out how I can generate income or more income, right, in order to live that life, right? So most of us, practically in 80%, 90% of the people in this world, they basically have income, and then they structure the lifestyle based on that income, right? So, and there's nothing wrong with that. We need to adjust based on the income that we generate, right? So if we earn a certain amount of money, right, we need to dedicate, okay, this is the amount we pay for rent, this is for electricity, this is for water, this is for food and groceries, right? So we have enough money to cover every single month, right? But we have a dream, and we want to know exactly how much that dream costs us in terms of like money, and how much do we need to generate, right? So when we slowly move up the steps, it's not going to be like one day you're here and one day you're there, right? Every day you slowly move up each of these steps, and then over time you will reach that dream, right? So, and over time you'll find the resources, the money resources, the people, the opportunities, right, that will offer, that will bring you to that dream and that goal, right? So this is what I want you to keep in mind. Now, since we're talking about income, we need to generally talk about, okay, why do we need income, right? I mean, it might be a very basic, simple question, but why do we need to earn money, right? In a basic sense, right? Everybody who lives in this economy, right, needs to pay for rental or the space to live, right? It's basic necessities, right? It provides security, it provides shelter, right? You're not getting attacked from mosquitoes or snakes or wild animals, right? Depending on where you live, right? But then you have security, you are protected. So you need some type of income or value in order to pay for that, right? Then you have food, right? You need to nurture yourself. You need to eat the food that you like to eat. Also eat the food that are healthy for your body as well. Right? You have a certain lifestyle that you want to do. You want to meet some friends, you want to treat your parents, you want to build something for your parents, you want to learn something for yourself so that you can practice, learn new things and practice and create things, right? So you have desires, and desires in human beings, it's normal. We are part of spirit, part of soul, while spirit, soul, we like they want to like get things done in this life, right? So we have this desire, and it's in all of us, right? And that's the thing. Yesterday we talked about that everybody wants more in their lives. And it's just an innate desire where we as human beings, we grow, when we grow from a baby to an adult, and around the way, we want to become better at things. We come to live more, have more meaning in life, right? Serve more people, learn more, do more, like create more. Like everybody has those desires, right? So that for that reason, we need to understand that, okay, we need to generate income, right? And the more income we can generate, the more leverage we have in this world as well, right? So let's say you have a certain type of income on a certain level, right? With that certain income, you can maybe take care of yourself and your family, right? But if you move another bracket higher, then you can actually take care of yourself, your family, and your extended family, like your cousins and your relatives and things like that, right? So with more money, you gain more leverage, you gain more influence to help more people and do more things in this life, right? So this is the whole reason why we need money, right? Now, how much money do we actually need, right? Now, yesterday when we were talking about it, we were also talking about, like, if you make a lot of money, will you be more and more happier, right? And that's not the case either, right? I mean, there's a certain level of money that a person needs, right? Some people need more, some people need less, right? But there's a certain level that uh, that people require money for. That's why it's important to have the clarity of how much you exactly need, right? But there's a certain level, and at a certain level, you can pay for yourself, right? So when you, for example, just fresh out of college, you got your first job, right? You maybe earn like $500, $1,000 in Asian countries, right? Then you can start to pay for yourself, maybe pay for rent or share rent with your friend, right? The older you become, you grow in your career and you want to generate more and more income, right? Now, what income is satisfying for a general person, right? So actually, President Park and Gill within Atomy did that calculation and research as well. And if you ever wonder, that income range that is within Atomy is that range that is comfortable for a person to live, right? And yesterday we also looked at the data where, on average, if you earn 10,000 US dollars a month, no matter where you are, maybe not in Seoul and New York specifically, but you still live well in those cities as well, right? But at around 10,000 US dollars a month, right, you can live quite comfortably anywhere around the world, right? Now, from 10,000 to 20, 30, 40, 50,000 in that range, you can start to actually, like, not just live for yourself, but live for other people as well. So all that income that you generate, you can provide for others. You can, of course, like, build more for yourself, and you can invest into businesses, do this and that, right? All you can do. But what you gain more out of it is just like you can just do more, like provide more, share in humility with others, right? So that's sort of the goal. Now, 10,000, 50,000 is sort of the range that most people will have a comfortable life living, right? So we covered why we need income. Now, how much income, right? Now, what kind of income, right? So now what kind of income is really, really important, right? So when especially when we start off new, let's say you start fresh, you just quit your job or something, and you're looking for new opportunities, or you just close down one project and you're looking for a new project, right? Then you want to sort of, like, okay, for the next project that you want to work for, you want to find ways, okay, where you can work on it. Then while you're working on it, it generates money, right? But maybe sometimes you don't want to invest a lot of money in it, right? So you don't want something that, like, is that, like, requires a lot of cash, where you need to feed business with money, right? But then over time, it will generate money over time. Now, when you research, like, okay, what types of incomes there are, then in general, people talk about, okay, there's active type of income, right? The active type of income is when people, they finish college, they get a degree, they go out and work, they either work full-time for a company, or they work part-time freelance, selling their services to others, right? Or they create products and they sell those products to others, right? Now, that active kind of income is very good, and the money is immediate, right? But there's another type of income that we want to talk about specifically today, right? That other type of income is called passive income, right? You have active income and then passive income. Now, the opposite basically means that In passive income, you don't necessarily work for it, the income to come, but there are systems in place that help you generate that income for you, right? So of course, those systems need to be activated by you, and you need to invest time in some effort into the system for the system to kickstart and roll and start to generate money for you, right? But there are benefits to both of them. Active income is like when you really need money tomorrow, right? Then you like sell a service, sell something, right? Passive income is when you want to generate something for long term, right? For the next 5 years, 10 years, next 100 years, right? You build a system, you build a system, you build a process where when you invest time and effort into it, then over the next 10 years, 50 years, 100 years, the system will generate value for you in terms of money, right? So that's the passive income level. So we covered why income, how much income, what kind of income, right? And then when we talk about what kind of income, especially when you want to engage with people who want to build a business, who are entrepreneurial, they want to build a project, start a new thing, right? They maybe don't like the corporate job, like working from 9 to 5, right? So then it's very important that you lay this information out of active income and passive income, right? Now, the topics that we want to cover today is firstly Auto Sales Master, which is the first rank in the Atomy Masterships, right? And we want to talk about why becoming Auto Sales Master is so important, right? And then we want to talk about listing and the step 3 of 8 steps to success, right? If 8 steps to success is currently foreign for you, don't worry, right? But listing that step 3 is very important to kickstart your business. So we'll talk about that as well, right? So 2 topics today, how to become Auto Sales Master, and topic number 2, how to create your list for long-term success, right? So mainly 2 topics. All right. Do you have any new members coming in, which we should say hello to? I hear a dog participating in our conversation.
I'm muted. Okay. We have actually, I say Barde. Hello. Earlier was hello. I think it's the first time, and then actually wrote in the group here earlier in the chat. Very happy to see you. Welcome to the session. Hello. Okay. And then
we have Harry in the house.
yes. Okay. That was it, I think. And then yes. Oh, and we have Chamber's master, Mr. Park Hyun-gyu, who's joining us from Korea. 박현규 국장님 안녕하세요.
아, 네, 좀 늦었어요. 운전하느라고.
안녕하세요. He's driving, so
welcome.
welcome to the session. Okay, and okay, you can continue, Mr. B.
Okay, all right, so awesome. So 2 topics we want to cover today. One is Auto Sales Master, right, which is how to automate our income in our lives, right? And the second topic is actually how to get this whole process started, right? And we will cover a topic called listing and how to list and how to get started with that specifically. All right. So on the topic of Auto Sales Masters, the reason why Auto Sales Master is so important topic within Atomy is because this Auto Sales Master position is a title or status. Once you reach it, it means that your life is set within Atomy, right? Because that status basically represents a status for yourself where you firstly start to earn money on a monthly basis, right? So that amount of money is around more than $2,000 a month, right? So every single month you will start to receive more than $2,000 a month, right? So now $2,000 a month. Actually, yesterday when we had this "How Rich Are You" website, we plugged in $2,000 a month, and when you earn $2,000 a month, depends where you are in the world, but you're usually in the top 5% of the people when you actually earn $2,000 a month. That's a little bit crazy when you think about it, right? But in most of the countries, it's like that. And so that's very important. So once somebody becomes Auto Sales Master, right, then this person will start to generate money for indefinitely, as long as they're part of Atomy, they engage and they increase the productivity within the Atomy team, right? And we will talk about all of that, right? So the other thing is, once you reach that, like you start to earn money passively, But once you reach that, it's a sort of a tipping point where things start to roll for you. And that's why within Atomy, this is very important to reach auto sales master, because once everything is automated, once you have the consumers who are purchasing products within Atomy, right, then your income becomes passive within Atomy. And it can only grow from there, because if you've set the system right, if you've set the network right, then the network will grow over time, right? So once you reach auto sales master, you have a certain amount of people, right? But once you reach that, it grows over time, and also means your income will grow over time as well, right? So when your income grows over time, and when you find some leaders within your network as well, then your business will definitely grow and you'll become Imperial Master, right? Now, it's just a matter of how much time and effort we actually put into it in order to get this whole process started for you to become all these individual ranks within Atomy, right? So keep that in mind. All right. The other topic that actually I want to talk about today in terms of like passive income and tipping points for becoming auto sales master is actually income protection as well. And it becomes very important in the year 2020 and 2021 because of this whole COVID thing and the whole economy is changing. Companies are closing down. In Thailand, the tourism industry is completely dead, right? So many people losing their jobs, right? So I also want to talk about income protection as well. So it doesn't matter if you currently have a job or you're out of a job or you're having a company, not having a company, right? You want to figure out how you can protect your income, right? So you have a certain type of income that you earn every month. But if your income is 100% salary, meaning you work at a company, you get paid on a monthly basis, right? Then that money, you're dependent on that. And if that company closed down, the company moves or something happens to your job, right? Then that income is gone, right? So I want to talk about income protection. So whether you have an income, like an income type, a salary or earn commissions, or you run a project, right? We want to protect our assets as well. So we want to have income protection. And with Atomy, in the Atomy system, it is a perfect type of income protection because once you become auto sales master, once you reach that point, that you protect yourself and the rest of your life with that income, right? So it doesn't matter if you still go out and find a job because you like to do certain things, right? So you still work in a company while you work on Atomy, right? It doesn't matter, but what you can make sure of is that even if that job fails, right, you still have Atomy protecting your income for the future, right? So this is something new that I want to bring on the table. And it's also something that you might want to talk to your members or your new recruits or your consumers, partners about, right? To give them like another push for this, right? Because in this day and age, we want to protect our income. So when suddenly something happens, right, we are sure that, hey, Atomy is still there for us, right? It's generating that income from that effort we put in, right? We can still look around and do things in our lives, right? But we always have the system, this backbone called Atomy behind us and supporting our lives, right? So this is very important that I want you to understand. All right. So in order to become auto sales master, first thing we need to know is how to become sales master, right? So sales master is the first rank within Atomy that you can rank up to. Once you reach that point, you'll start to earn your first bonus, right? And since most of you have been in our session for the past, so I'm just gonna skip this condition slides, right? So I usually have the compensation time slides, but I believe most of you already have watched that. But just as a reminder, in order to become sales master, you yourself need to have 700,000 PV, right? So 700,000 PV for yourself. It doesn't mean that you're forced to purchase 700,000 PV, right? But it's about that the company wants to ensure that you have consumed certain amounts of products in your membership with Atomy that where you are confident to actually share those products with others, right? Just think about it. If you're a CEO of a company, right, and you want your salespeople or your distributors to sell products for you, right? Now, as a CEO, I would want my members or my salespeople to know what they're talking about when they share the products, right? So I want to make sure that they use the products before, they understand the products, they know like, okay, if they use it for a certain time, right, it has certain benefits for them, right? So as a CEO, we want to know that, right? So for us ourselves, when we want to generate money in the system, like in this business, then we also want to know like a little bit about the products, which becomes important tomorrow because tomorrow is a product day and we talk about products tomorrow, right? So the condition is you yourself need to have 700,000 PV, and then you need to generate 2.5 million PV on your left and on your right side. Now, if left and right side sounds confusing to you, there are compensation plan videos on YouTube and the admin channel, right? So just refresh your memory on that, right? So generally, we need to build two sides. So left side, right side, 2.5 million PV and 2.5 million PV in order to generate that, right? So now those are the conditions and they're easy to understand. But we want to get actually into is like, okay, how do we get that, right? The actual like process step to do that, right? Because everybody will tell you, okay, become sales master, just generate 2.5 million PV, 2.5 million PV on the left and right side, right? But how, right? So this is what we want to talk about today. So for this to happen, we want to explore the customer journey a little bit. And with every company, especially an awesome company like Atomy, there's a journey in place, right? And if you don't understand customer journey yet, just think about how you've engaged with this whole Atomy experience from the beginning, right, to today, right? Just think about the first day you heard about Atomy, right? I don't know which sponsor recommended you or gave you a certain product to use or told you about Atomy, right? But then over time, you figured out like certain information, then you watched this video, you went to a one-day seminar, then the sponsor told you about the Success Academy. If it was recent, the Success Academy was just online. And if you watch the Korean Success Academy, then you've seen all these people from all around the world actually joining, right? And over time, you use this product and that product, and then maybe a sponsor recommended you to purchase some products from Korea as well, right? But this has sort of been your journey. And the journey for everybody is personalized, right? And it's specific to each individual, right? But there's certain key points, certain like core points that everybody will pass through. And this is something we want to discuss today, and which we will move into the listing part as well. All right, so I have the benefit slides here. So in case this particular slide is new to you, take a quick screenshot. It will be very valuable to you to explain the Atomy business in one-pager kind of style, right? So you can take the screenshot with you. So let me go directly to the customer journey, right? So this is the customer journey within Atomy, right? So keep that in mind when you're part of this business or when you engage somebody to be part of Atomy, right? It's not like one day they become a member of Atomy and the next day, boom, they become Imperial Master, right? It's probably not going to happen. It's actually not going to happen because there's some systems in place where person requires time and effort to actually become Imperial Master, right? So you need to help other people to become an Imperial Master, right? But here's the customer journey in a simple sense. So when you started the Atomy business, when you just first came in, not even the Atomy business, but when you first came in and heard about Atomy, right? You learned, maybe you got to try some certain product, some maybe the toothbrush, the toothpaste, maybe the Hemohim, right? Maybe you heard about something and you got curious and you bought some products, right? Or maybe the sponsor, the person who recommended you, bought you like a package of something, right? And you got to try, right? Once you got to try, I believe you got interested in the particular product, right? Right, and then because you got interested in this particular product, you change your shopping behavior. You start to not buy the toothbrush from the 7-Eleven next door. You start to buy the toothbrush from Atomy because it's gold bristles, right? And who doesn't want to brush their teeth with gold bristles, right? So that's very awesome. But apart from that, it's super awesome quality, right? But over time, once you start to use more and more products, right, you become a loyal consumer of Atomy, right? And as a loyal consumer of Atomy, you basically start to replace all the products within your household with the Atomy products, right? So it doesn't matter if it's a detergent, it doesn't matter if it's the facial foam or the hair conditioner shampoo or anything in your life, right? You start to replace products in your life with Atomy products because you start to love them. Maybe there's some products that you don't like that much, right? But there are 400 products out there, and I kind of show you that each and every product has something awesome in it, right? So that's my personal guarantee, right? But once you become a loyal consumer, and once you understand how to refer other people into the business, then that person or you or them will start to earn that general commission. Now, when they earn that general commission, they'll see how this Atomy business works, right? The general commission, maybe the first commission they got was just $50, $60, right? $60. Doesn't sound much, but when somebody understands that, okay, if they do this and do that and do this and do that, and there comes money out of it, right? Then it works, right? Then they trust the system more, they believe it works, they see the money coming into the bank account, right? And then they move on to become a business partner. Then they want to do this full time, and then they want to strive to become a sales master and auto sales master, right? So this is the general journey that people go through. And you have to keep this in mind, especially when you want to build your Atomy business, right? And you want to think about where you yourself actually are in this journey, right? Now, most of you, I believe you're already in the last portion of this slide, right? But you yourself need to think about how, am I still sharing my screen? Where's
Yes, you're sharing your screen.
Where's my screen? 1 second. I can't unshare my screen. Okay, all right, I figured it out. So on this slide, you need to see where you are in context to that journey, right? So most of you, I believe, you are Atomy business partners already, right? But when you actually go out there and like bring people into the system and talk to them, right? Or maybe you have brought people into the system already, right? And they're along somewhere in this journey. What you need to think about is firstly, where are you along this journey, right? And if you're already a business partner, that's awesome, right? Then you need to think about where your members are, right? I'm talking about those who just joined in, right? Now, are they a consumer already? Maybe you just signed them up, right? But they aren't even a consumer yet, right? So that's the first step that you need to push them through. So they need to become a consumer first, right? So from member to consumer. Now, when they become consumers, right? They're along the line from ordinary consumer to more change to become a loyal consumer. Then you need to think about, okay, how many products have they used so far, right? Have they only tried 1 or 2 products? Have they changed the products in the household already, right? Are they a loyal consumer already? Are they purchasing every single month, right? Which other products could they purchase more within the Atomy system, right? Maybe they can order directly from Korea if the certain products aren't available in the Atomy system, right? So keep that in mind, where your partners are along this Atomy journey. 1 second. I need to figure out how to stop my screen share. Found it. It is a multi-monitor setup, so my buttons were on another screen. All right, so
Okay.
So what you need to understand, what you need to think about is you yourself, if you just started this out, right? Where along this journey are you within the system, right? In this journey we were talking about earlier, right? And if you bring new people in, keep in mind where they are along this journey as well. Right now, for most business partners, it's relatively easy to think about, okay, let's just find business partners, right? Let's just go find business partners, right? But remember, in the Atomy journey, to become a business partner, it's the last step there, right? So if you want to jump a person from not trying out Atomy products, not becoming a consumer, not never getting a commission before, and then having them have the mindset to become a partner, possible, but it's going to be harder, right? So keep that in mind, that with an Atomy, a lot of people say, okay, let's find partners, right? But when you actually listen to President Parker Gill, he would actually talk about, okay, let's find consumers, right? Because that's where your money comes in. Like you earn money from that group PV, from the PV that generates on the left and right side. right? Now, when you understand where you are, where your partners are along this journey called Atomy, right? Then you can think about, okay, what's the next action I can do for this person, right? So let's say you think about a certain member within a downline and you figure out where they are along this Atomy journey, right? And then you'll think about, okay, they're here, right? They have tried this product before. They attended one-day seminar, Success Academy already, right? They have the life scenario already, right? Okay, what would the next step be, right? And you sort of plan out the journey for them and you curate the journey for them. You essentially create a life for them as well, right? So you figure that out. And I mean, there's no answer is the right answer. There's no right and wrong within this thing, right? So when you do the certain action, right, it will have a certain response, right? And you can just improve on that over time, right, wherever it might be, right? So think about that. So auto sales master, the tipping point, you need to get there. Once you get there, your income is automated. And most importantly, you need to figure out how to actually help people to become auto sales master as well, right? Because the next step is called Diamond Master. And what Diamond Master means is that you need to find those two sales masters and two sales masters on the left and right side, right? And when you help those 4 people become auto sales master, what it means for you is that you will become auto diamond master, right? So what we need to understand is that when we help other people to become auto sales master, we ourselves will automate our income as well, right? So keep that in mind, but also keep that journey in mind. All right, so this is the first topic about auto sales master and how to become auto sales master, right? So again, there are a lot of commission plan videos out there, right? But we want to go into meat and potatoes. That's how they say it, and how to actually become auto sales master, right? We know the numbers. We know we need to get the product sales in there, right? But for today, we want to explore the first topic in part of the eight steps to success, right? So we'll review the whole 8 steps to success on Friday, this Friday, next Friday. So this Friday, we will cover the 8 core habits first, and then next Friday, we will cover the 8 steps to success in a whole, right? So today only, to start off with, right, we don't want to get confused with this whole 8 steps to success already, right? So we want to start off with a step which is called listing, right? Step 3, listing in 8 steps to success. And we want to explore how we can do this 8 steps to success and understand this listing part easier, right? So let me get you to my board. And I don't know, does this angle work better for you guys than this further angle?
Oh, can you maybe move it a little to the right?
So this angle doesn't work?
Yeah. Oh, because it come, or you just use that part of the board. That's fine.
Huh?
You can just use, because it cuts a little bit, but it's okay.
I just saw a YouTube video where the guy had the angle right next to the board. I wanted to try.
I see.
All right, so the next topic, and briefly, we're going to cover this for like the next 10 to 15 minutes. Listing, right? So there are a couple of pointers I want to talk about listing to kickstart this whole admin process, right? Now, this whole listing portion, it's not about contacting yet, right? So we will maybe touch upon how to contact them today for a couple of minutes, right? But we'll talk about contacting step 4 in the next step, and excuse me, next week, Tuesday next week. All right, so today we'll specifically talk about listing. Now, in listing, step 3 of the 8 steps to success, right? In listing, the basic idea in listing is really to write down the people that you know, the contacts that you have in your phone, in your Facebook, in your line chat, in your Kakao Talk, right? You want to figure out who you have access to, right? But before we get to this whole listing thing, let me tell you briefly about something I call rookie versus amateurs versus professional network marketers or listers, right? Now, generally, rookies who start off in network marketing, and I've been there around 18 years ago, I joined my first network marketing opportunity, right? And I was a complete rookie. I was 20 years old. right? So I heard about this thing, you can make so much money, right? And then played this video on the wall in the hotel, and like got so excited, and joined about the product, right? And then suddenly sat me down and like, okay, let's do this business. Do your listing, right? And I was like, okay, how do I list people? And the thing is, back then, my friends went to Germany at that time. I was in Thailand, right? So I didn't really have many friends who were in Bangkok at that time. I'm living in Bangkok just in case, right? So I was a rookie back then, and I was only able to list like 5 to 10 people. Like, remember, it was 18 years ago. They had ICQ, maybe Messenger, and like IRC chat, right? So this whole messaging chat thing, it didn't really exist. So I couldn't really contact my friends in Germany apart from email, right? But I didn't really have the email address either, right? So I only knew 5 to 10 people. So I wasn't a complete rookie at that point, right? And keep in mind, when you bring people in, right, they are potentially rookies too. Like 99% of the people that you bring in network marketing only heard about network marketing, but they have never been professionally trained about network marketing, right? So most of them will be rookies. The second thing is, once you move up the scale, you're an amateur, right? And general amateur means that you start to really expand your network. Not expand your network, but you really dig down in your network and figure out who it is that you have access to, or who it is that you know, right? Now, these amateurs usually would have access to 200 to 250 people. 200 to 250 people, which means that on average, a general person has access to 200, 250 people. And there's this famous salesperson called Joe Girard, who was in the Guinness Book of World Records by selling like the most amount of cars in his sales career. And what his mindset was is that every time he actually talked with the person, he would think that the person would have access to 200, 250 other customers as well. So he actually treated one person as if it were that person was 250 potential customers, right? Now, Joe Girard was an absolute professional, and that's what professionals do, right? When you are a professional, what happens is that you have an unlimited amount of people to contact, right? And what do I mean with unlimited amount? I mean, obviously, you can't contact, I mean, there are only 7 billion people in the world, right? So B, what are you talking about unlimited, right? But the idea is that your business has absolutely no limits if you understand how to expand your network, like Joe Girard did. Joe Girard thought of a customer, potential customer, or customer, right? But he thought of them, one single person, as if they were 200, 250 potential customers, right? He treated them. And when he did, when he sold a car or when he networked with like one person, he got to know another 5 people. Then from those 5 people, he got to know 20 people. And from those 20 people, he got to know another 100 at the next charity event, and then another 1,000, right? And it goes from there and there because the mindset was different. Our mindset needs to be on the level of a professional like Joe Girard, who treats everybody like there are 200, 250 customers, potential customers, right? So when you do that, even if you maybe, let's say you're a complete introvert, just like me, right? And you only have like 5 to 10 people in your friends list, right? But those 5, 10 people that who are already your friends and maybe potentially your very, very close friends, right? These 5, 10 people have access to at least 200, 250 people or even more, right? If the average person has 200 people access to 200 people, then it would be like 1,000 people already that they would have access to, right? And this is what I mean is that your business will theoretically become unlimited with the simple mindset shift, right? And when you bring members on board, right, and when they tell you, I only have 5 friends. How do you want me to build a network marketing business with 5 friends, right? Remember Joe Girard's story, become a professional and always expand your network and always think about a potential customer or a customer as somebody who has access to another 200, 300 people, right? So keep that in mind. Now, the next topic we want to discuss in listing. Now, this is a mindset thing, right? So once you understand this, doesn't matter how many people I know, right? I can get to know people through the people I know, and I can get to know more people through all the people they know, right? And my business will become unlimited, right? So this is a mindset shift, right? So keep that in mind, especially when you bring new members on board, right? Members who want to do the business, right? And especially introverts like me, right? Who would say, I only have 5 friends, right? So, you can tell them, don't worry, introvert, you can do it. We will expand those 5 friends to 500 friends and 5,000 friends, right? Maybe you'll get them overwhelmed if you tell them you'll get 5,000 friends. All right, so the next topic in listing, right? We want to talk about list management, right? Listing management. So how do we actually manage our list so that we can use it not just today, tomorrow, this week, but we can use it for the next year, for the next 5 years, for the next 10 years, until you become a pure master. And then you can give your list to your downline so that they can work on that list, right? But think about long-term, like how could you build that list so that you can use it today, but you can use it next year. And next year, that list might have grown to like 1,000 people, 2,000 people already, right? So actually, if you reach out to one new person a day, right? Over 1 year, you have reached out to like 360 people. So if you do that 2 per day, it will be like 700 people a year. If you reach out to like 5 a day, that would be like 1,500 people a year, and so on, right? So your business becomes really, really unlimited with that. But then, okay, we know how we can, okay, our business is unlimited. Like there's 7 billion people in the world, right? There's one way or the other, we can reach out to them and build our business. Then when we actually have a lot of people in the business, then when we start to deal with like hundreds of people at a time, right, we need to have some sort of management solution for that list. And in a corporate world, I'm coming from the corporate world. In the corporate world, they have something called the CRM, or Customer Relationship Management System, right? So they call it CRM. They call it CRM, Customer Relationship Management System, right? So whenever the company deals with a customer, right? Whenever the company deals with a customer, they would have the system that would sort of like keep record, keep track, keep a log of like what happened to the customer, what are the preferences to the customer, when are the birthdays, right? Where did they live, right? For shipping details, right? Some bankings even keep the credit card information, KYC information, right? So you have the CRM that like these big companies are using, right? And there's a reason for that, because big companies, like imagine the company you're using your mobile phone on. So in Thailand, I'm using AIS, right? In Philippines, it might be Star. Was it Star? I'm not sure. I'm not sure which provider is there in India, right? But think about how many million people they're actually engaging with every day. And like some of us, like we sometimes call the customer support, right? And we're not happy with the service, right? But imagine every time you actually call the customer support, the chances for you to actually get the same customer support is also very, very low, right? So keep that in mind. So big companies use a CRM. So what can we use as like distributors, as network marketers, as people in Atomy, right? What could we use? And the thing is, all of us could build like a simple CRM, right? And the CRM, so like customer relationship management system, right, might sound very big, right? But what we truly need is just a couple of information about that customer so that we can help them better, right? And most importantly, also like provide, like build relationships with them better. So whenever you, as a general rule that you want to do, when you manage this list, right, you want to update your list every time you engage with a customer. So every time you talk to a person, right, you go back to your list and you write if it's a notebook, right, like written notebook, then you write briefly down on this day I talked to Mr. ABC, right, and we talked about this, right, and action steps are this, right? So a little bit log. So that's how you manage. But the information that you actually put in, of course, you need the name of the person, right? You need the name, the birthday, the BD, the location, right? There are certain things that you would need. And one thing on the birthday, if you actually have the customer's birthday, make sure that every year, once it's their birthday, right, you can send them a custom card, right? That's also something that Jyotiraj did as well, right? So you can treat your customers a lot better when you actually not treat, but you will build a lot better rapport when you remember the birthday, right? Especially when it's before or after, like during the birthday time. Right, so you want to manage the database, and there's some things that you want to write down now. During the Atomy business, I mean, there are some preferences you can write down too. For example, do you have children? What do they like, right? And there's a concept we have that we'll talk about next week in terms of content called Chord, which is about finding commonalities to talk about, talking about the occupation, the recreation, and their dreams, right? So we will cover that next Tuesday. But today we just want to figure out, okay, what goes into this list, right? Now, there's a lot of preferences that we can put into the list, right? So what do they like to eat? Where do they like to go? What are their hobbies, right? What do they work at, right? Now, in terms of Atomy, let's say when you already reach out to somebody and you know that you happen to talk about shampoo, right? And you understand, okay, they don't like the shampoo they're currently using, right? Then you can actually make a note about product preferences as well. What kind of products do they like? What kind of products do they use, right? And like, do they have health challenges, right, to overcome, right? So you can go ahead and write that all of it down. And the benefit of this is really that every time you engage with one single customer and you start to update this preference list or like a list of data about this person, right? Whenever you call this person up, right, you can go back to that list, right? And you can figure out, okay, what's the last thing you talked about, right? And then when you actually bring up literally the last conversation that you guys talked about, it would completely amaze your customer, right? Because they would literally think that you put so much effort in remembering all the details in the last conversation, right? But no, I mean, yes, we remember in a way because we noted it down, right? We noted it down because customer information is important. So whenever we deal with the customer, we can go back to our own little CRM, right? And like reach out to them, talk to them about. And with the products, it also becomes very important because once they start to use products, let's say they start to use 3, 4, 5 products, right? And then they start to expand and use more products, then you can note that down as well. Okay, which products have they used so far? Which products they have talked about, but never bought yet, right? So you can like help them out on that portion, right? So this list management, actually I have a lot of content on this. So one thing in this management thing, before we go into contact, right, we want to also figure out how do we actually rate them, right? So when we list them down, right, we actually don't put ratings yet, right? But in the process of reaching out to them, we want to rate them as well, right? So we'll cover that next week, Tuesday as well. When we actually reach out to them, talk to them, what do we talk about? Like how should we rate them, right? If they're a 5-star potential prospect, right, then like what are the conditions of a 5-star potential prospect? So we'll cover that next week as well. So one last tip for this whole listing thing is, I mean, his general idea is just really to write down as many people as you can, right? So when you watch President Park and Gill of many of the Atomy leaders, right, you will see them talking about not thinking about what they want or what they if they might do the business or might not do the business. And so everybody has their own mind, right? So we want to keep in that. But what is really helpful is something called a memory jogger, right? Now, what the memory jogger is that you go through a list of, for example, occupations of people like around your neighborhood, right? And you just think about all these potential people that go through in your life, right? So when you think about your daily like journey in your life, you wake up, you go out, maybe you don't go out so much these days, right? But you see people on social media, you see people on Facebook, on Instagram, these things, right? So what helps is that when you start to categorize like your memory a bit, so you would start out, for example, with family, which is the easiest thing, right? So you start out with family, then friends, then co-workers, right? Now, here it becomes interesting. So most rookies, they would actually stop here. But then you can think about your neighbors, right? Your neighbors, the security guard, right? Your hair salon dresser, or like your barber shop, right? So this is not very readable right now. But you go through this like list of like, what are all these people that I come in contact with every day, right? Now you can think about, if you're a bit older, you can think about your school times, your high school times. Who was like your school teacher? Who are your school friends, right? Right. So maybe some of the friends you went to school with, back then they were 10 years old, and now they're like 30, right? So like, hey, what's up? How was life? 20 years no see, something like that, right? So it's a good opportunity to go back. So you can think about all these things, and especially now with social media, we have access. Like most of us have this list of friends in our social media already, right? So it's very, very easy to actually just go through the list and write them down, right? All right, so keep the memory jogger in mind, and when you help, like as a sponsor, you want to help your downline to like sit down and make this list so that they have it easier to reach out to people, right? And for you as a sponsor and as a leader within Army, you can keep track of the activity, right? So when you tell them, when you ask of them, like, okay, show me your list, right? And how many people you contact, right? Then you get definitely results and how much effort they put into Atomy. All right, so this has been listing. Now, the challenge of like the action steps for listing that you should like take away from this, right, is that firstly, you want to prepare your listing database, right? So if you have a list already right now, if you start to write a list already, right, figure out what kind of data or preferences of this particular person you would want to know, right? Especially like what kind of product they're currently using. Like, I mean, everybody uses toothpaste, shampoo, conditioner, facial foam, cleanser, detergent, right? Those are the things that people really use on a daily necessity, right? Then we have all these nutritional products, which are an additional benefit for people as well. And these are daily necessities too, but you need to convince them first that they need to understand, okay, what is hemorrhoid good for? What is spirulina good for? What is the vitamin C good for? Right? Maybe some people only heard about vitamin C through social media posts, but it's not, they don't really know like what is it good for, right? So you need to talk about product knowledge as well, but that's something we will cover throughout this month and in our next sessions as well. All right. So the challenge for you here today and after the session is basically, now from yesterday, you have your bucket list, right? So you have your bucket list. Next week, Monday, we will cover the life scenario. So we will put the bucket list into a life scenario, right? So yesterday I asked you to figure out how much money you need on a monthly basis, how much money you desire on a monthly basis in order to live that lifestyle that you want to live, right? So once you have that money, that amount, that figure clear in your mind, right? Then you can figure out ways how to achieve that income, right? And now it doesn't matter if your desired income is $2,000, $10,000, $30,000, $50,000. If it's not above of $300,000 a month, Atomy can help you with that, right? So in Atomy, the top Imperial Master makes $250,000, $300,000 a month, right? That's a lot of money, and that's more than a single person actually needs, right? Unless they do some weird stuff, but we don't want to get in there, right? So awesome. So this is about sales master and listing. So listing is the step 3, the very first, like the first step that is actionable within the 8 steps to success, where you actually like start to deal with other people, right? And step 1, step 2, it's about mindset. Step 3 is the part where we start to deal with other people. All right, so we talk about sales master and listing. So yeah, okay, the challenge here is, so you have a desired income amount, and whatever that desired income amount is, Atomy can support you with that when you put the effort in and build this business for yourself and for your team, right? So the challenge is really to, yesterday we were talking about goals. The challenge is, again, to set a goal, right? To set a goal when you want to become sales master, auto sales master effectively, right? I mean, you can, when you set a goal to become sales master only, right? So there's a difference in mindset, right? So there's a difference in mindset. If your target is only to become sales master, then you do everything to just reach that, right? And we know there's a lot of things in network marketing happening. If people just get to a target just to get that title, that preference for people say, hey, right, which is good and awesome. But for you yourself, long term, right? Set a target to become auto sales master, right? Because once your mindset is on auto sales master, right? Then you do the things and you figure out the opportunities that will help you to become auto sales master. If your goal is to become sales master, then all the things that you do will be about becoming sales master, which is all right and good. But I hope you see that slight difference in mindset when you set a goal for sales master and when you set a goal for auto sales master, right? I see a heart on the screen from Junia, but I don't think that heart is for me. All right, so the second challenge I want to give you for today is to manage your list. So we were talking about listing, right? So start to really manage your list, start to take this. I mean, this is a business, right? This is your business. Each ID, each Atomy ID is basically a business account, right? And every ID is responsible for their customers, right? The customers are basically your downline, right? So you need to keep and manage the list. And what you want to do is to share that list with your sponsors, right? So some people might think, okay, the sponsors are going to take the list and recruit for themselves, right? It's not going to happen because the sponsors, they want you to succeed, right? Keep that in mind, right? So share your list with the sponsors. Tell them, okay, I got this many people today. I talked to this many people, right? So this is my current status, right? So this is something you can do. So as sponsors, what we can do is like we need to go down to our downline and help them manage the list as well, right? In order for our business to grow, we need to grow the businesses of the people in our downline. We can't just tell them, hey, do a list, right? We need to think about duplication as well on how we can actually help them create a list so that it effectively becomes useful for them, right? And they can teach it forward down the line so that when you're not there, they can teach it to other people, right? Keep that in mind in terms of duplication, right? So that's the second challenge. Manage the list with your sponsors, right? And for sponsors, go down to your downline and work with them to create that list, right? And help them manage the list so that for a long-term basis, one, you help them grow the business, but two, your income also grows with that, right? So that's the second challenge. And the third challenge is, I wanted to do it today, but we're running out of time. It's called the Blitz campaign, right? So a Blitz campaign is something that you set up like 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 15 minutes time with your team, right? So you maybe can set up a Zoom meeting with your team, right? And then you say, hey, let's do a Blitz campaign. So for the next 5 minutes, 10 minutes, or 15 minutes, whatever time frame you set for yourself, right? All the things that you do is to just list and send one message. List, send one message. Whoever you have in your list, just send one message. Just say, hi, how are you? How have you been? How's life been? I've seen your social media posts. How was it? Anything, right? The whole idea is just to re-engage, especially if you haven't talked to them for a very, very long time, right? If you've just talked yesterday, it's like, hey, what's up? No, long time no see. Yesterday, right? So anything, just write it out. So the Blitz campaign is really about just sending messages out, right? And what you want to do with your team is just start to count, right? Within the 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 15 minutes, you start counting within each. Oh, is that on Wikipedia? That's very interesting. I'll check it out later. So essentially what you want to do is just in that short time frame, you want to get everybody just send messages out, right? So that everybody in your team just starts contacting people. And what this does for them is like when you have people in your team who are procrastinators, right? Like they every day they sit down in front of the phone, they want to contact people, but they sit there and look for an hour at the phone because they procrastinate, right? This Blitz campaign will get people over this fear, over this anxiety of like, right? So once you say, okay, next 10 minutes, let's contact as many people as we can. When we keep count, the winner will get him or him, right? Whatever you want to give away. So you do like the next 10 minutes, like, hello, hi, how are you, how was your day? How has it been? 10 minutes on average. I think we did it last time. I think it was 5 minutes. I got like 6, 7 people. I think one person a minute, right? Very slow. But we had some people on here who did like 15 people, like three people a minute, right? So expect that to happen within your team as well. And what you want to do is you want to congratulate, applaud them, cheer them up, right? And have them do that on a continuous basis, right? And we will talk next week, Tuesday, specifically on how to contact, what to talk about, and what happens when they respond back. Right? Thank you so much for joining in today.